Welcome back, my fellow West Ham supporter. Go ahead and drop a like, share this video, and subscribe to our channel. That helps strengthen the claret and blue chain, making our club bigger and stronger every day. Today, instead of just highlighting 3 separate pieces of news as we usually do, we are offering a broader view of the Hammers' situation ahead of the clash with Crystal Palace. This match arrives at a crucial moment. West Ham come from a hard, painful, and worrying 3-0 defeat against Tottenham, a result that left scars not only on the scoreboard, but especially on the morale of the squad and the fans. Graham Potter's team now have 3 defeats in their last 4 Premier League matches, which has triggered alarm bells about the season. This was not the start supporters expected, especially after a transfer market that in many people's view fell short. If there is one positive, it is that West Ham have no midweek commitments. That's because they were eliminated from the League Cup by Wolverhampton, while Crystal Palace remain in the competition and face Millwall. This difference may seem small, but in the congested English football calendar it could be an important detail. While Palace split their focus between 2 competitions, West Ham will have a full week of preparation to try to fix mistakes and recover players. It is impossible to ignore the growing pressure on Graham Potter. The atmosphere around the club is tense, the patience of the fans is at its limit, and to make matters worse, the mainstream media are already speculating about changes not only in the technical command, but even in the administration. Protests are being planned both inside and outside the stadium, and some in the press have even suggested that West Ham has become a difficult club to manage precisely because of how it is run behind the scenes. When you add this instability to a transfer market considered weak and to a complicated run of fixtures still to come, the feeling is clear. Potter needs to respond quickly. Otherwise, his time in London may be running out. And as if the internal difficulties weren't enough, the opponent is in the opposite phase. Crystal Palace arrive unbeaten in 10 Premier League games, the best run in the club's history. Oliver Glasner's team is solid, consistent, and very difficult to beat. They have conceded the fewest goals so far, boast the most clean sheets, and have established themselves as one of the most reliable defenses in England. Even when not shining in attack, they remain competitive. In their last game, they drew 0-0 against Luton Town, but before that, they beat Aston Villa 3-0, showing attacking strength. It is exactly the opposite of West Ham, whose defense is currently the most exposed in the league. They have conceded 11 goals, 6 of them from set pieces. The match against Tottenham made this clear. The team was simply dominated on dead balls, something unacceptable for a Premier League side. It is precisely in defense where the biggest problem lies. The defensive system looks lost, disorganized, and vulnerable. The statistical comparison is alarming. Just from corners, they have conceded more goals than any other club in the competition. This weakness has become an easy target for opponents, and unless immediate changes are made, Crystal Palace, and many others, will do the same as Tottenham. There is an expectation for the debut of Igor Julio, a centre-back signed as an important reinforcement. His numbers are interesting. He is one of the players with the most blocks in Europe, with 160 in his professional career. To put it in perspective, that's only 38 fewer than Van Dijk, despite the Dutchman having played hundreds more matches. It's an encouraging stat, but no one can single-handedly fix such a problematic sector. If there is a gap for optimism, it comes from Crystal Palace's absences. The team will be without Ismaila Sarr sidelined until the end of the month. Adam Wharton is also out, while Eddie Nketiah is close to returning but still not ready. In addition, Glasner made it clear that these players should only be available for the clash against Liverpool in a few weeks. Even so, Palace still have 18 outfield players available, which gives them enough depth to remain competitive. There is even the possibility of Yeremy Pino, recently arrived from Villarreal, making his debut as a starter. This shows that although they have some absences, the squad remains strong and capable of competing at a high level. All this leads us to a scenario of enormous difficulty for West Ham. The match will be at the London Stadium, a London derby that already carries rivalry by itself, but now takes on dramatic contours. The question everyone is asking, will West Ham finally be able to organize defensively, give a convincing response, and give Graham Potter some breathing space? Or will Crystal Palace extend their unbeaten run to 11 games, sinking the Hammers further into crisis? The fans are divided between hope and pessimism. Many believe a win could be the turning point, while others have already lost confidence in the current work. The atmosphere promises to be electric, and the weight of pressure will be present with every misplaced pass, every missed chance, and especially every ball floated into the box. What we can expect then is a clash that goes beyond football. At stake is the trust of the supporters, the immediate future of Graham Potter, and even the image of the club in the league and in the media. The moment is critical, and the players must understand that wearing the West Ham shirt means facing pressure challenges and responsibility. If there is a reaction now, there is still time to save the season. But if the mistakes persist, the crisis will be inevitable. Crystal Palace will not ease off, and it is up to West Ham to prove they can overcome this phase. And it is at this point that an even more serious warning arises. Many fans are openly saying they would accept relegation just to see Sullivan and Brady leave the club. But would that really be worth it? The example of 2003 still hurts after relegation that year. An entire generation of talent was lost. Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, Glenn Johnson, Freddie Canute, Trevor Sinclair, Paolo Di Canio, Le Ferdinand, and even Jermaine Defoe asked to leave right after the drop. It was a total dismantling that took years to rebuild. Today the situation could be even worse. Recent articles already suggest that players like El Hadji Malik Diouf, among others, could leave if relegation happens. But the list would certainly not stop there. Imagine losing Bowen Paquetá Somerville, Fernandes Wan-Bissaka, Guilherme Magassa, and Diouf himself. Even the most promising youngsters like Potts, Earthy, Marshall, Orford, and Scarles would receive immediate offers. West Ham would be forced into a real fire sale to balance the books, leaving the squad reduced to expensive players with no market. The danger of David Sullivan simply crossing his arms and doing nothing is enormous. The sporting and financial damage of relegation far outweighs the cost of sacking Potter and bringing in a new coaching staff. It is still early. There is time to react, but if nothing is done in the coming weeks, the club could find itself in a desperate fight against relegation. For the fans, it would be the end of an era. Many comment they would accept the drop if it meant the departure of the directors, but perhaps they should look at recent examples. Clubs like Huddersfield, Luton, Wigan, and Cardiff were once Premier League teams. Today they are stuck in the lower leagues, some even in the third division. Just ask their supporters if relegation was worth it. This is the harsh reality West Ham need to face now. Either there is a quick change of approach and leadership, or the risk of a sporting tragedy becomes ever more real. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the Claret and Blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. And in the midst of all this pressure, another piece of news has stirred conversations among the supporters. Many had dreamed of Jose Mourinho arriving to take charge at West Ham, but that possibility was ruled out early in the day. Italian journalist Fabrizio Romano revealed on his social media that the Portuguese coach is in advanced talks with Benfica following the departure of Bruno Lage. According to Romano, Mourinho has opened the door to an immediate return to Portugal and is willing to accept the challenge of once again leading the club where he began his career. The deal could be sealed soon. For some Hammers fans, this news came as a cold shower since Mourinho was seen as one of the favorite options to replace Graham Potter. However, sources close to West Ham had already made it clear that the club had no intention of hiring the special one. The board stressed that this was never a real alternative. This means that more than ever the game against Crystal Palace takes on even greater importance. If Potter manages a victory, all this talk about possible replacements loses strength at least temporarily. But if the team stumble again, the list of available names to take charge grows shorter by the day. Mourinho is out. McKenna is unlikely to leave Ipswich, Lampard fails to excite, and Deitch seems out of the picture. The range of options is closing quickly, and West Ham's future remains shrouded in uncertainty.